Today we'll examine Christian ideas using reason. Christianity is arguably the largest religion in the world. It has a 33.32% of the total population. We are examining certain concepts of Bible, such as the original sin, the substitutionary atonement of Jesus Christ on the cross, the concept of eternal hell, a concept that animals have no souls, the far-fetched judgment day, the corporeal resurrection, and Genesis cultural mandate. Christianity maintains that everyone is a born sinner because Adam, the original person, he sinned against God by eating the forbidden fruit in Garden of Eden. This happened thousands of years back. Now, is it not absurd? Is God so unjust that he will hold you accountable for Adam's sins? You are responsible for your sin, and I am responsible for my sin. This is not what we notice in the society. So, should we be believing in such kind of theory? Even as per Christianity, a newborn baby who has not even started to speak or do anything is a sinner. Although God created a fresh new soul and got him in the mother's womb, how can he be a sinner? The second concept in Christianity is that Jesus died on the cross so that the sins of the believers have been forgiven. So now the question becomes, when Jesus died on the cross, what sins have been forgiven? Now, if sins have been forgiven, then why is it that when a Christian does a sin or a crime, the police puts him in jail? Why Jesus does not come to the rescue? So how is it exactly helping us? If Jesus died on the cross and people believe that sins have been forgiven, people keep on doing sins today. They used to do sins before Christ and they used to do sins during Christ. And moreover, such kind of concepts that Christian can have his sin forgiven because Christ shed his blood on cross 2000 years back, will it not encourage sinful habit in a Christian? The third concept, which is very unreasonable, is the eternal hell for non-believers. So now Christianity holds that non-believers and sinners will go to eternal hell after judgment day. So Judgment Day is essentially a concept where all the people, Christians who are dying, they will be in the grave, and all of them will be waiting till Jesus Christ returns in a far future. We do not know when he is going to return. Only when he returns, he is going to judge the Christians, and all the Christians who are in the grave, they will be given a new life with a body. About their body will be resurrected, and he'll be judging them. Now, if they are believers in Jesus Christ, then they are going to go to eternal heaven, and if they are non-believers or they're sinners, they are going to go to eternal hell. Now, question becomes: how can a kind God put people who do not believe in Jesus condemned to eternal hellfire? Even humans have a better sense of justice. Is it not gross disproportionate punishment? Christianity holds that animals do not have spirit, and so they do not have rebirth, so they can be used for man's purpose for eating or any other use. So, for example, it has a big impact on society today. Animals are used as food by Christians, and slaughterhouses are opened for meat industry. The meat industry is responsible for large amount of carbon emission and ozone layer depletion. Now, let us examine. The animals are eating, and humans are also eating. The animals also love, and humans love. Animals fight, and humans fight for defense. Now, animals procreate children, and humans also procreate children. Both love their young. So, if you examine the difference between animals and humans, we'll see that love and procreation is common to both of them. Self-defense is common to both of them, and the function of the soul or the living force within the body, such as thinking, feeling, and willing, is common to both of them. Only difference between animals and humans we can see is that inquiry about God. Animals do not seem to be inquiring about God and the purpose of life, whereas humans do. That's the only difference. That does not mean that animals do not have souls, and animals can simply be eaten for the purpose of the Christians. The next concept is also quite unreasonable. That is a far-fetched hanging judgment day. So the judgment day is a concept where everybody will be waiting after death in the grave and until the second coming of Jesus. And the question is, why is it not that once a person dies, why is it not judged immediately? What is the difficulty? Why after the death, everybody should be judged immediately and the punishment should be given? Have you ever seen that you will be waiting for other people's judgment in a society? Uh, so this is very, very unreasonable. Corporeal resurrection is a concept in Christianity where they hold that when the judgment day comes, then all the people who are in the grave, they will be resurrected to a physical body. Now the question becomes that after a long time, these bodies will have nothing in them because the bone and the flesh would have melted away and would have perished. So when resurrection happens, what happens? Does an old man is resurrected to an old body which where he cannot see when he died? If he was not able to see or hear, is it going to be like that? So how exactly that a person who is resurrected to material body enter heaven? And what about a child? Child who died young, will he be resurrected to a child's body? And in that way, if you think, then a white man will be resurrected as a white, black man will be resurrected as black, so that the racism can continue. So this is really sinistrous, is it not? So we should understand that our human body is made of material elements which are subject to decay, such as earth, air, fire, water, and ether. So because they're perishable by nature, then what is the point of resurrecting people to a material body? Then something which has really wreaked havoc in the history of humankind is the Genesis, God's mandate given in the biblical book called Genesis. Genesis 1:26 to 1:28. It people Christians believe this as a cultural mandate, and in that it is written that God commanded Adam to subdue earth and subduing earth. So that is followed by the Christian world, and they have literally created environment disaster around the world by exploitation of earth because they thought that it is a God-given mandate. And dominion is the other thing where the God gives dominion of humans over all others. That has led to such things such as slavery and colonialism, exploitation of resources. So the question is, does a just God give such kind of commandment? Cannot God understand that subduing the earth is going to lead to environmental disaster and exploiting other children? Will he allow exploitation of other children by some of his children? So essentially, what you have to understand is that any concept which is presented and does not stand to reason is unlikely to be true. So we saw how the core doctrines in Christianity do not conform to simple reasoning. In a subsequent video, we will contrast how Sanatana Dharma answers these concepts in a reasonable manner. Thank you.